Hello everyone. I welcome all of you to my second session on inheritance. Before starting my session, I would like to give you the recap of whatever I have done in the previous class. I have discussed what is inheritance, what is base class, what is derived class, and what are the types of inheritance that we have. And I have asked you to make a note of different types of inheritance that we have because that is one of the important question with respect to 5 marks. And also I have discussed the visibility modes that we have in the inheritance. So I have concluded my first session by discussing the concepts of different types of inheritance. Let me start my second session with the program that is single inheritance. Here I present to all of you an important program which will help you to understand the concept of inheritance. Why should we use inheritance? What is the advantage of inheritance is what you have to observe in my explanation. If you ask me, why are you explaining this program for us? I have an answer for all of you. You will be understanding the concept of inheritance with respect to program. Till now, I have explained the theory concepts, I have given you the definitions, I have shown you the diagrams, but I have not shown you where exactly we are implementing this inheritance. So I will show you, or I will try to explain the concept of inheritance with the help of program. Let's start. So this is a program for all of you which explains the concept of single inheritance. Let me start with the statements. I have the header files. Let me not bore you guys by saying this is the header files that I have, all those things, and I have the main point that you should observe here is the class name. What is the class name that I have? My class name here is base. So please observe, in this class I have private access specifier, public access specifier. When I am explaining the concept of inheritance, it is very important that all of you should understand, or you should give an attention with respect to the access specifiers. Sir, why? In the previous class I have discussed the visibility modes with respect to the access specifiers. So for that reason, please keep an eye on the access specifiers whatever I am using, and I will explain why am I using this access specifiers. Yes, what is the first one that I have? I have the private. Inside this private access specifier, please observe I have two variables. The first one is roll number, second one is name. Yes, I have two variables in private access specifier. Please observe I have public. So inside this public access specifier, please observe I have two functions. The first one is read and the second one is display. What is this read function is helping me? Yes, please observe this read function is helping me to read the values from the user. So that is roll number and name. It is asking me to enter with the help of cout statement. Yes, after that I have cin statement. Cin statement will help me to read the values, and I am storing roll number and name. Yes, you are storing roll number and name. Please listen to me. Don't deviate yourself and concentrate on the class. I have one more function, that is display. Why should I use display function? So in this function, I'm not doing anything else. Please imagine you have a black screen in front of you. In the top left corner, you are printing roll number and name. You're printing roll number and name. So can you guess why I'm using this display? Yes, just to print the roll number and name, whatever you have taken here. So that is the end of my class. Base class has got two functions. One is read, another one is display. Read is to read the values, display is to print the values. So that is my base class. This is what my base class is doing. What is the next class that I have? I have one more class. Please observe, this is very important. So guys, I'm using the keyword again, class, and then the name of the class is derived. The name of the class is derived. Please observe, I am using the colon after the name of the class. That is the symbol which conveys the message that you are performing the operation, or you are performing the inheritance concept. Yes, please understand, if you are using the colon after the class name, then it means to say that you are inheriting. You are inheriting. So one more point you need to understand here. So what is this? So this is a derived class. This is a derived class. Then what is a base class? So my dear students, this is a base class. This is a base class. This is the inheritance operation that I am performing. So please observe in which mode I am inheriting. In public. In public I am inheriting. If you are inheriting the class in public, definitely the visibility mode will be public. Please imagine the visibility table what we have discussed in the previous class. Please go back and check. If you are inheriting the base class in the public, then it will be in the public. So that is what you need to remember. So at this point of time. So fine. So you have the derived class and you have the base class. So what is the use of it? So why are you using this? Please understand, whatever I have in the base class, I can access, I can reuse, I can implement the same thing in this derived class. That is the meaning. I don't have to write whatever I have here, but still I can use it. But still I can use it. That is what you need to keep it in your mind as of now. Let me complete this program. After that, I'll come back to you again. So what is that I have inside this class? The same thing I have private access specifier, and I have three variables m1, m2 and t. m1, m2, t. All these three variables of type integer. You can ask me, sir, you could have written int m1, m2, t. Why are you writing like this? Is it wrong? No. I am just trying to explain. You can also write like this. There is no wrong in writing like this, but you could have represented in one single line. That is also correct. So then after that, what is that I have? I have public access specifier. Now what is that I have? I have void read. So please observe, my function name is void read1. So what is that I have here? I have void read. Here I have void read1. So what is that I have here? Display1. So here I have display1. Please observe. So here I have read1. Here I have display1. My dear students, what is that I'm trying to do here? So in this function, I'm just same thing. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just reading the values of m1 and m2, and I'm performing m1 plus m2, and I'm storing in this t. I'm just storing it in the t. So that is what you should understand. So read is to read the values of m1 and m2 and performing the addition of m1 and m2. Then after that, the display is trying to print the value of m1, m2, and also it will print the value of total, which is m1 plus m2. I'm not doing anything else. So that is what I want all of you to observe here. But the main concept of inheritance that you have to understand here is, please observe, I have one main function. You can ask me, sir, you have only one main class, but you have two classes. So all these days, whenever you are explaining the program, you used to have one main class for one class. Yes or no? Please understand, I can have multiple classes for one main class. Please understand, I can have multiple classes for one main function. In all the previous examples, whatever I have explained for all of you, I have taken only one class. But if you ask me, can I have more than one class for one function? Yes, of course you can have more than one class for one function. The same thing I have done here. So you have more than one class for one main function. So let me explain the concept for all of you. So I have derive. So derive is a derived class. So I'm trying to create the object for derived class. What is the object name? I have OB as an object name. So what is the next thing that I have? I have CLR SCR. So which will help me to clear the screen. So please observe here OB.read. Please observe OB.read. Read is a function which was in the base class. Read is a function which was in the base class, but with the help of OB you are trying to call. OB is an object of derived class. Is it possible? Is it possible? Because we have not defined this read function in the derived class, but still you are using the object of derived class to call this function. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, only because you are performing the inheritance operation. You are performing the inheritance operation. Though you have not defined read function inside this class, but still the object of this class can invoke the function of this class. Why? Because this is the base class of this derived class. That is the concept that you should remember and understand. So the same thing that I have done, again I have the same object of this derived class, and I'm trying to invoke, or I'm trying to call read one function. Sir, what is read one function? Read one function is this one. Read one function is this one. Please understand, read one function is a function which is defined inside the derived class. Yes, of course, there is no speciality in that. I can call that. And very important thing now again, so I have OB object. OB is an object of derived class which is trying to call display function. That display function is defined in the base class. Defined in the base class is what you need to observe. This display function is defined in the base class, not in the derived class, but still the object of this derived class is trying to call the function. So this is the concept of inheritance that you need to understand. Lastly, the object is trying to call the display function defined in the derived class. So this is the concept of inheritance. So whatever the properties that I have in the base class, from one class to another class, I'm trying to inherit. So in short, this class is what I am treating it as a class A, and then I am trying to inherit the concepts of class A to class B. So this is a class A, this is a class B. So that's why I will call this as single level inheritance. Single level inheritance. This is what you need to understand with respect to the single level inheritance, dear students. Moving on to the next topic. Fine, you have a base class A. So from this base class, I will perform the inheritance to derived class B and also to derived class C. Yes, you can do that. Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. One base class, two derived class. So this is an example of hybrid inheritance that I am taking. So now understand, there is an interesting issue that I will come across now. I am performing one more inheritance operation. So for this class D, what is happening here? So I am getting a copy of A from B also, and also I am getting a copy of A from C also. Now how many copies I have? I have two copies of base class. I have two copies of base class. So which class copy I should use now? You're getting my point? This base class data I have in this class B. The same base class data I have in this class C. So this B and C will give the copy of class A to the class D. Both of them will give. So I need only one. Why should I take two? The same data. So how can I avoid this problem? So to avoid this problem, what I will do is I will use the keyword called virtual. I will use a keyword called virtual. Whenever I use a keyword called virtual, so I will solve this problem. I will take only one copy instead of two copies. So where should I use the keyword virtual? In front of the name of the class, I should use a keyword called virtual. If you are using the keyword called virtual, I will be solving this problem. So this is one of the problem that you will come across whenever you are performing the hybrid inheritance. So this is what you need to remember with respect to this topic. The next topic that I have. So what is the concept of inheritance with respect to the constructor? Dear students, I have the single inheritance program for all of you to explain the concept of constructor. So here you need to observe, whenever my function name is same as class name, then I will call that function as constructor. Sir, we have forgotten what is that constructor. Please go back and check. Before that, I would like to give you a recap. Suppose if the function name is same as class name, then I will call it as a constructor, I use the constructor to initialize. I use the constructor to initialize the value of a variable automatically whenever I create the object. So fine, I know the constructor concept, but what exactly is happening here? So please observe, this is the base class that I have, this is the derived class that I have. Yes, we have the base class and the derived class. So this I will call it as a base constructor, and this I will call it as a derived constructor. The concept of base constructor and derived constructor is important in this explanation, is what you need to observe. So please understand, whatever the variables that I have, whatever the arguments that I have, whatever the parameters list that I have, directly it will be passed to the derived constructor. All those statements, whatever I have passed from the base constructor to derived constructor, so first all those statements should be executed in the base constructor before I use these statements in the derived constructor. So that is what you need to understand with respect to the constructor concept in the single inheritance, dear students. With this, I have come to an end of this chapter. Before winding up this chapter, please understand what is the important topics that I have to read in this chapter to score full on full in this chapter. Please remember, you will get one 5 marks question from this chapter. So what are the expected questions that I should have, that I should read in this chapter? First one, different types of inheritance with the diagram. You should practice, and also you should be able to write the definitions for all the inheritance. Second question, different visibility mode is what you have to read for 5 marks. And the next one that you can expect is a single inheritance program. Please understand, these 3 topics is very, very important with respect to 5 marks in this chapter. By saying this, what is the next topic that I will discuss in the next session? My dear students, keep waiting for me. So I will come with an interesting topic in the next session. By then, thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead. Thank you very much.